What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, and if you like this video, hit that like button. We're gonna be breaking down everything that happened on the Celebrity Big Brother live feeds yesterday. There was a good bit of things that did happen. We had nominations, and we have kind of an idea of where the house is, whose plans are what moving forward. So let's break all that down. First off, I do want to mention, we talked about in last video that the feeds were down for a really long time after Monday's episode. We kind of assumed that they were doing HOH, and obviously they were doing that competition, so we didn't really get to see much of that. It wasn't like an endurance competition, which we normally get to watch. It was just kind of one of those regular ones they were filming for the episode. But apparently there was like a 2-hour break in there where they were just giving them private time, right? Which, look, I understand maybe that was like written into some of their contracts. Maybe they, are trying to be a little lenient with the celebrities, being like, hey, let's give you a break from being on the live feeds. Just 2 hours of rest, do what you need to do. One of the things that kind of bugs me is, and we talked about it in last season of regular Big Brother. We've talked about it, in Big Brother All Stars. Uh, the live feeds are not what the live feeds are anymore. Yes, there's always some downtime. There's always some fishes that pop up. There's always some things that they have to cut away from because they don't have the rights to show it, whether it's singing, whether it's a story about a third party who hasn't signed a release, whatever it is, right? There's always something that they need to turn the feeds off for. But these are like extended delays. It's no longer 24/7 live feeds unedited, right? There's so much that we miss out on. And it almost feels a little bit like a scam, right? Because they always push this 24/7 live feeds, keep up with the house 24/7, but that's just really not the case. And also, I wouldn't even be that upset if they were just like, hey, there's going to be like a 2-hour downtime, don't worry about the feeds, because it just keeps us on there like waiting. It's like, well, are we going to get feeds soon? Who knows? Like, keep us more informed. We're paying for this. It's not like it's free like Big Brother Canada's live feeds are. This is a paid service, and it feels like, one, we're being lied to about what it actually is, and two, there's no communication on what's going on. Even in the beginning, when the feeds were delayed, right? We lost them for a whole day because there was something going on in the house. They were like, come back Friday, we'll give you an update. And then, boom, Thursday night, we got the feeds. So that's just a little rant and complaint about what's been going on with Big Brother live feeds, especially the American versions, whether it's Celebrity or just the regular Big Brother seasons. It's kind of a shame to say. But get past that little rant. Let's jump into what happened. First things first, the good part of the live feed is we get the daily morning Catan feeds, and these are some of the best live feeds ever. Sometimes I'll just wake up in the morning, I'll turn them on, and I'll just wait, hoping that we see a sighting of Catan doing something, whether it's just him getting out of bed, falling over, going to get some cake. We've seen some of this on the episodes as well, but it is always interesting to see what Chris Catan's going to be getting up to. Shayna is hitting a bit of a wall. Yesterday morning, she's like just really over almost everybody in the house, mostly Miesha and Todrick, but she's just like, man, I almost can't play fake anymore, right? Like she is just ready to, let the claws come out, and she is done playing Miss Nice Girl. So that's gonna be really interesting to see this keep going. She is working a lot with NSYNC, but we'll get to this where maybe NSYNC could be in trouble, and she might not have that going forward soon, and she's gonna have to start fighting. Carson may be my favorite house guest of the season. He's always cracking jokes, saying something hilarious. He's also one of the best bakers. He is always cooking up something. We saw the cake that Chris Kattan was eating on the episode in the middle of the night, but he made an apple pie. Yesterday, he made this cake that looked delicious. It was like a chocolate cake with a peanut butter cream cheese frosting. I need to try Carson's food. I need to try his food. But other than that, he is just really got a good pulse on what's going on in the game. And we'll get even more into that after we talk about nominations and the interesting conversation that we had with Miesha and Todrick. So this was right before nominations. It was almost like an hour-long conversation, just the two of them up in the HOH. And yesterday we talked about how Todrick and Miesha were frustrated all day, and I thought maybe they had gotten like clued in on that NSYNC was attempting a backdoor, or that they just had like a gut feeling that maybe something fishy was going on. I think that latter part is the true thing, maybe even from Todd Bridges, which is kind of when they get into the conversation here. Todrick told Miesha that Todd Bridges told him that he can't trust NSYNC. I don't think he told him about like, hey, NSYNC's trying to backdoor you. I think it was more of just Todrick like Todd Bridges warning Todrick, hey, don't trust NSYNC. He can't be trusted. And Todrick trusts Todd Bridges a lot. He says like, I don't think he would lie to me. I think he was just being straight up, being like, hey, don't trust NSYNC as much as you do. And man, like, Todrick is done with NSYNC. He is so mad at him, not even just for game stuff. Like, he feels disrespected personally by him. Mainly, from what I'm gathering, he doesn't like him because he didn't listen to him when he was HOH. Which, look, everyone has the right to not like somebody for whatever you want, right? But the idea that Todrick is mad at NSYNC for not listening to him and doing what he wants on NSYNC's own HOH, when the week before NSYNC didn't want them to put Teddi up, but they did it anyway, it's kind of hypocritical. And it's interesting to see now that, like, this guy, we gotta get him out, and I don't know. Now, Miesha was like, so you want to get NSYNC out this week? And he's like, no. Carson is still the most dangerous player, right? And it's interesting because Todrick's like, I love Carson outside this game, but he is going to win if we keep him, right? He's the most dangerous person in this game. I think they're right. I think if Carson made it to the final two, he would probably win. That's beyond the point, right? They're making a good game move. But the target right now is going to be for Carson to be the one to be evicted. And they were like, we'll worry about NSYNC later, right? Like, we'll get him out like next week. But here's the interesting part that was mentioned as well. So let's say, for example, they, nominate Carson and he takes himself off the block. Their plan was actually to put Chris Kattan up because they just feel kind of bad for him. They think he's not really in the best place mentally right now in the house, and it would be better for him to leave. So that's going to be interesting to see how that works out. I don't know if that will be the case or not, if they would actually just use the power when they have it to get NSYNC out, but they feel like the better move would be to get Chris Kattan. And I think what it is they feel like they've kind of got NSYNC on a string where he's still a number for them, right? Whereas if they get him out and Carson's still in the house, they're losing numbers and they're losing the ability to then get Carson out, if that makes sense. The Noms came through, and it was kind of what we expected. Carson and Cynthia, they were nominated for eviction. Carson is the obvious target that they're going for. And again, the plan right now is if Carson comes off the block, put Chris Kattan up and then send Chris Kattan home. But if Carson is on the block, they want to send him home. And look, if I was in that same position and I wasn't working with Carson, it's probably the best move. He is the most dangerous player in this game right now, and he has his finger on the pulse of this game. He knows what's going on. Um, he's also just in general, he seems like a really good person. I love Carson and Cynthia's friendship. He was like, yeah, look, if I win veto, I'm not using it on me. I'm going to save you. And Cynthia's like, don't you dare. Don't you dare. You save yourself. And he's like, all right, we'll see what happens when we get there. I still would have to win. So he's pretty much being like, yeah, I'll sacrifice myself. I'll save you. So their friendship is really nice. But they really have a good idea of what's going on, right? They realize it's Miesha and it's Todrick. They've kind of got NSYNC wrapped around their finger. They think he's way too loyal. And I think part of that we saw with him not doing the backdoor of Todrick when he had the chance to, which is really kind of a shame because NSYNC is on their target list, but I don't think he realizes it. I think he thinks Miesha is going to be, working with him and they can get Todrick out eventually. NSYNC is kind of lost. Carson and Cynthia, meanwhile, they have a really good idea of what's going on. Even Shayna, they kind of have pulled Shayna over to their side and been like, look, it's me, it's you, it's Cynthia, it's NSYNC, and then it's you, right? Like that's the pecking order. They're going to keep just taking us out. The only problem is they haven't been able to get the power to do this in the game, right? They have no authority to be able to be like, yes, let's go after them, because Todrick and Miesha keep winning at the right moments, and they have people like NSYNC who will win HOH, and there's nothing they can do. So they're kind of stuck here at a crossroads on what's going to happen going forward. One little bright spot, and I don't know if I believe this or not, is they think if Lamar were to win HOH, he would put up Todrick and Miesha. They would think it's like a power play. But I'm not 100% sure on that. He seems like he's pretty much aligned with Miesha and Todrick. But again, hey, maybe they're privy to more information than we really are getting from the feeds and vibes and stuff like that. But I just don't see that being a possibility. I think he would stick to the plan with Miesha and Todrick and kind of listen to them. So just kind of a little breakdown of where things are in the house. You've got Carson, Cynthia. Shayna is really more on their side, right? She is very much against Miesha and Todrick and doesn't really want to have anything to do with them. Chris, NSYNC, he's kind of floating in the middle, but he's way too loyal to Miesha. He's not very loyal to Todrick, and they know about it. So, like, they're just kind of playing with him at this point. Bridges, he's doing he's doing a really good job of playing that middle floater, almost like the rat game, where like he's telling everybody different information, and I don't think he actually really knows a lot, but when he does get a piece of information, he uses it to the best of his ability. And I'm actually a little bit more impressed with him than I have been in the first few days of this game. Poor Chris Kattan, I love him, but he is just there for the ride, doing his thing. And Lamar, I think, is with Miesha and Todrick. I think that he's more loyal to them, but hey, he's a wild card, right? Like, you don't 100% know what's going to be happening. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Veto. We're getting an episode tonight, which is going to be the HOH competition and nominations. We're not going to get Veto because that hasn't happened yet, and I think we'll get Veto on the 2-hour episode on Friday. So I think it's going to be maybe another live Veto and eviction. It might happen on Thursday, and we'll get an idea of what's going on with the Veto. It could even happen today, so we might have some info on who won that and what the nominations are. But we'll wait and see on that. Friday's going to be the interesting episode where we find out who wins Veto, who the nominations are going to be on the block, and who's going to be going home. Sadly, at this moment, it could be Carson. But hey, if he's able to win Veto, maybe they'll go with that plan. Put Chris Kattan up, send him home, because that's what he wants. He asked for it, and they wouldn't give it to him. So that's pretty much it for the update, guys. We had a pretty lengthy one there. There was a lot of stuff to go over, a lot of dynamics kind of in the house. And what do you guys think? Who would you like to see win veto? Is it Carson? Is it Cynthia? Is it somebody else? Would you want to see them use the veto to save them if it wasn't them to win? Who do you want to win HOH on Friday? Because that's going to be another big turning point in this game, is who's able to get power next. My name's been Ori, guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We do videos like this every day, kind of updating on the feeds, as well as live watch parties for the evictions. And if you made it all the way through this video, hit that like button. Hit me up in the comments below of any questions or thoughts that you have on the season, and share this video with your friends and family, anybody you think would enjoy some Big Brother coverage. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.